When the white feet of dancers beat across the stage, the sound is like the wings of birds at dawn, fluttering. And when the feathery light bodies rise on point, spinning like the wind across a lake, the sight is romance, uttering. Said once the poet. Let's take up ballet because this cute girl just flashed her panties at me, said Junpei. Dance Dance Danseur tells his story, the story of a boy that loves ballet. Once, when he was just a child, he didn't really think anything about ballet, but that was up until the point when, one day, after being brought to theater to watch a ballet show, he felt something awakening inside of him after seeing a male dancer beautifully perform on stage. And no, he didn't realize that he might be gay. Following that experience, Junpei decided that he also wanted to pursue a career in dancing, convincing his parents to let him take lessons. The boy would really enjoy it, demonstrating a natural talent towards dancing, an amazing sense of rhythm, and a very delicate elegance. He was what is called a diamond in the rough. You might think something along the lines of, it's not really often that I am in the mood of watching boys jumping around wearing very tight leggings. Well, to that, I have only one thing to say. That's a you problem. No, but honestly, give me a chance to sell it to you. Unfortunately though, the biggest challenge is strike is lightning. His father, who was a professional stuntman, tragically dies. This deeply affects Junpei. On top of that, he starts to get bullied because of his passion, seen as not suited for boys. Junpei makes a drastic decision. He decides to stop practicing ballet, as well as changing his behavior. Being now the man of the house, he starts to act in a more masculine way. Obtaining a reputation of being an extroverted leader at school. A very athletic and full of energy boy that couldn't care less about something as girly as ballet. One day though, after performing a kick combining his skills from ballet and Jikondo that he now practices, he gets noticed by a classmate that approaches him on the way back home. It's a girl called Miyako Godai that, after dissing his dance moves, flashes him before inviting him to participate at a dance lesson. And Junpei, well, he obviously agreed as any cultured man would. Upon his arrival, he's greeted by a class of grade scholars. And I mean, personally, I'm not really into MILFs, but this woman would definitely be an exception. This anime has it all. Cute high schoolers that randomly flash you on the street, meals that are hotter than the broth in cup ramen, and grade scholars. No, you filthy degenerate. I know you were waiting for me to say that, but no. We find out that the extremely hot MILF is Miyako's mom, and I mean, they kinda do say that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, do they? Well, now I see why. Her name is Chizuru, and she's an incredibly talented dancer that now teaches kids ballet. After making Junpei sort of audition and then completely destroying him because of the amount of mistakes he made, she still decides to teach him and guide him all the way to the Bolshoi, the most prestigious Russian ballet theater. Now, a bit later, we also get to know a character called Lo. Yeah. Stereotypical Russian, although not really, boy who is a ballet prodigy. I mean, let's be real, it's not a ballet anime without a Russian boy, am I right? Throughout all of his childhood, he was brutally trained by his grandma that would starve him and not let him out of the basement, making him practice for hours and hours. Him and Junpei are gonna have a sort of a friend-rival relationship throughout the season, both in ballet as well as in love. I'm not gonna go too deep in the story in order to avoid major spoilers, but what I think is the most interesting part about this anime is the fact that although having abandoned his dream of becoming a professional dancer years ago, well, it takes him just a single time, a single set, no longer than a couple of minutes, to understand that nothing could ever give him the same euphoria as ballet. One thing I also appreciate about the series is that it doesn't really try to shy away from the harsh realities of the ballet world. From the extremely intense training to the constant competition, the show doesn't sugarcoat anything. It's a true representation of the dedication and sacrifices it takes to become a top-level ballet dancer. Now let's talk about some technical aspects, shall we? Well, the art style was perfectly translated from the source material. At first sight, the way the author draws characters might come off as a little bit weird, with these extremely big eyes and mouths, but once you actually start to watch this anime, it kind of manages to give the characters a very unique and expressive appearance. The level of animation in the series is also absolutely stunning. but I mean, well, considering the studio that is behind this anime, we shouldn't have expected otherwise. Every dance move, every jet is beautifully animated. Do I know what all of these terms mean? No, I don't, but French just sounds cool. So, yeah. Well, the music in this anime fucking slaps. Other than having your ears constantly blasted with beautiful and melodic classical music, this anime doesn't lack more modern tracks. At the end of the second episode, for example, when Junpei is walking down the road at night, well, he gets excited and randomly starts to dance. Throughout the sequence, the author decides to play Rosie by The Roosters, an 80s Japanese rock band, and I think that they truly couldn't have made a better choice. The song, in its rawness and simplicity, fits the scene perfectly, and I promise you that it's gonna be quite hard to get it out of your mind for a while. Rosie,教えてロジー、何が欲しい、忘れてれば全ていい。